to give you the updated information regarding the result and progress of the central environmental inspections and also answer some of your questions. The floor is yours, Mr. Zhai. Friends from the media, good morning. I'm very happy to be here to meet with all of you. Some of you are my old friends. I also see some new faces. And thank you so much for your long-term support to our progress and the effects. And also thank you for your media coverage, which also draw public attention. I would like to say a big thank you to all of your hard work. Central environmental inspections are the one that guided, instructed, and hand-on by General Secretary Xi Jinping, and it's also one of the major initiative of reform, as also a major oriented progress and institutional guarantees of environmental conservation. At each milestone, General Secretary Xi gave a big direction, and it also championed us going forward. General Secretary Xi made several instructions, speeches, giving a great encouragement to our work. Under the guideline of Xi Jinping's thought on ecological conservation, as well as his instructions, we have seen a big progress made in environmental protection, as well as environmental conservation. And we have seen a historical and tremendous changes. Since 2015, the central and local government have issued the policies. The central government issued the plan on environmental inspections, which laid solid legal foundation for us to carry out the work. From 2015 to 2018, as a first round of inspections, we have conducted review on 20 cities and regions, and also started the second round. And to the first half of this year, in 6 batches, we have finished 31 cities, as well as the Xinjiang Production Corps. And our work also covered 6 state-owned enterprises. In our work, we also reflects the guidance of General Secretary Xi's thought on ecological conservation, and also bear a bigger picture in mind, and also a problem-oriented thought. Make sure that we have carried out the ecological and social environment, as well as the COVID-19 prevention. And we also showed our responsibility in this regard, make sure that we make our contribution in high-quality development as well as high-quality environmental protection. After these 2 rounds of inspections, we believe that all the stakeholders have well understanding of Xi's thought on ecological environment conservation, and also we all have that awareness that lucid water and large mountains are invaluable assets. And we always give the top priority to environmental protection, and which also received the endorsement of the central government and also the public. We have seen a great results in terms of policies, society, economic development, and we also have seen a balance between a harmonious existence between the nature and the human beings. The central environmental inspections, we always hold everything accountable, and we also treat the illegal behaviors rigorously, and we also keep a key focus on the permanent problems and also listen to people's voice and also give people the sense of gain and fulfillment, and also use our concrete action to welcome the upcoming 20th National Party Congress. And also thank you for all your support. Now the floor is open for your questions. And before raising questions, please identify your media outlet. Thank you, CMG. As you mentioned, after the 18th National Congress, we have seen a historic and transforming changes. So what's role played by the Central Environmental Inspections? Any good experience that you can share with us? Thank you for your question. That's a very important question as well. Under General Secretary Xi's personal instruction and care, the inspections emerged from grassroots. Right now, it's entered to its 7th year. The instruction of environmental inspections, especially the central environmental inspections, owes to General Secretary Xi's important instruction. And also General Secretary Xi's care and support. As you mentioned, that the role and the key measures we have taken, and let me give you some policies we follow. First, we stick to the major policy direction. It's our key mission to implement General Secretary Xi's thoughts on environmental conservation, make sure that all our actions reflect the philosophy. We talk about our inspections actually is problem-oriented, responsibility-oriented. So we keep a sharp eye on the prominent problems. And third, we always stick to the strict standards. We also head on to the most difficult parts. And we also correct the most prominent problems, make sure that they could also set the example to the other wrongdoings. And also we listen to people's voice, especially the sectors with the most concerns. Regarding the results and progress of the central environmental inspections, I believe I can answer them in the following areas. First, the exercise of General Secretary Xi's philosophy. We all know that the loose waters and lush mountains are the invaluable assets. That is something shared and endorsed by the whole public. And also people attach high attention to environmental protection. So we have seen a rising of awareness among the public. And second, the central environmental inspections also once again urge a key post and leadership to hold the due responsibilities. For each locality have establishing the working team in this regard. And they also conduct the regular meetings to examine and carry out the environmental protection initiatives. And we also deal with the most prominent problems. A lot of them are deep-seated problems that should have been resolved. We talk about the problems in Yangtze River, in the Qilin Mountain, and also the illegal housing in Qingling area. All of these projects produced the good results, also won the support of the public. Let me show you some figures. As of today, for the first round of inspection and review, for the 3,294 rectifying plan, right now 95% of them all finished. And for the second round, 1,227 cases, half of them also finish improvement. For the fourth and fifth batch of the inspections, right now is underway. For the two rounds of inspections, we have received and handled 287,000 cases. Right now, 285,000 cases have been resolved. And also through our inspections, we also urge all the localities to put green development as their top priority in order to realize that the multiple win in socio-economic development, as well as environmental protection. And for the 8 cities along the banks of Yangtze River, we have seen a big improvement in environmental protection, and that we have seen that the big, enormous progress in the environmental protection, which also provide a even larger room for economic development. Thank you. China Daily. In the recent years, we know that you have to stick to the problem-driven working. In fact, some of a really big challenge. So how you deal with all these major challenges. That's a very meaningful question. Over the past 7 years, the Central Environmental Inspection always problem-oriented, responsibility-oriented. What we're doing is when we want to solve the problem. That is why you have seen the good results generated through our work. I believe the progress we have got today as first should give the credit to General Secretary Xi's support. From the very first day of our inspections, we have received the great supporting courage from General Secretary Xi. It also showcase the courage and the determination. And also he asks us to always problem-oriented. I believe General Secretary Xi's words are the belief and also our courage, so that we take bold actions. We talk about we're not just for the sake of inspections. We should really challenge ourselves to take the tough issues in order to push the localities to implement their responsibilities. And second, we also received a great support across the whole society. We have been dealt with the problems with the most concerns. That is why the public also gave us a great applause in return. And when the Central Environmental Inspection Team made their visit to different localities, they always listened to the public. And when the inspection work finished, we also received the appreciation in different ways from the public. And third, we also have a strong team. So this team always rise up to the challenges. For each team member, they are the one with hard bones. I believe some of our friends from the media also had the trip with us. You know that who they are. They are really the dauntless and yielding person. For each and every problem we found in our inspection, for each case, each report, you always can find that we have really learned the knowledge from A to Z to know exactly the reason behind and also to know who should be accountable for. Make sure that we can withstand the test of time and history. We also have some very touching stories, and in a very summer time with 40 degrees Celsius, it's the really hard day for the team members to carry out the outdoor inspections. And also for the winter days, it's usually a temperature below -10 degrees Celsius. We also carry out our inspection outdoor, and also sometimes we also had a big fight against the illegal behavior personnel. I believe all these give us great support and also make the progress we have seen today. Thank you. Says Metropolis. We have noticed that for the cases and unveiled from the central government that all have dual public attention, and also localities also touch great importance to these cases. And why you choose all these cases to unveil, and what's the main figures of all these cases? For the typical cases, as you mentioned, yes, indeed, that's from the central government to the public touch a great importance to. And that is also one of the key content of our work. We have focused on the prominent problems in order to exercise our measures. We talk about that how we choose these cases. There are 3 rules we follow. First, the most polluted problems with the most public concerns. So that include the problems of the intended discharge of pollutants in rivers, lakes, and also the industrial waste discharged in some lakes and rivers, as well as the black and odorous water. And also includes the infrastructure construction not in place. And the second rule is that something that hindered the development of environment. We talk about that illegal building in the environmental protection or a reserve area, and illegal occupying of lakes and rivers, or destroy a forest to build houses, or the bombarders mining. And third, see a practice of formality and bureaucratism. So far, for the 262 typical cases, we also make deep studies analysis regarding the environmental pollution, including the infrastructure construction shortage, accounts for nearly half of all these cases. Regarding environmental damage, as related to the hindering of the sustainable development, that accounts for 33.2%, which also a comparatively large proportion. We talk about the damage to the mountains, rivers, and forest, including a practice of formality and bureaucratism, account for 18.1%. Regarding our working plan, we stick to the following policies. First, we also adopt a new and creative way. So in our report, you could see that that's 3 in one report. So we also use words to describe the problem, and also we take pictures. And third, we also can see we have around a 3-minute long video clip. So for each case, you always have pictures, videos to reflect the true situation. So through all these multiple audio-visual ways, that's also, once again, the way to collect evidence. And also we work with different platforms to repost all these cases, all these reports. I believe that also conducive to our media friends to make a following media coverage. And second, as the typical cases, we should make sure that they are objective and genuine. I believe that's also the baseline of our work. The case from the inspection to documenting, that's actually after the several rounds of the approval. So we're also very prudent to profiling these cases. And also we work with media, and we invite the correspondent to make a field visit and working together make the in-depth coverage. So make sure that these kind of typical cases can be known by larger scope of the public. The official public is one way to unveil these cases, but also our friends also make a story coverage or story reporting in a more in-depth and multiple angles. I also ask the host to go with us in the further rounds of the inspections, really experience our work. I believe that the unveiling of OD's typical cases also ring alarm to the other cases. I believe that also is effective and also receive the thumbs up from the public and also from the online viewers. And also our big inspection also divided into several working teams. We talk about typical cases not only for the wrongdoing cases. For some really good examples, we also would like to also take them as the typical cases as well, so they could also play a leading role. We also welcome the journalists to make continuous coverage of all these cases. Thank you. Thank you very much. Guangming Daily. The work carried out by the essential environmental inspections received great support and welcome by the public. And for the 2 rounds of inspections, you have received nearly 200,000 the cases from the public. So this is quite a large number. How you make sure that this large number of cases receive the satisfied answers? Thank you for your question. In our work, we have set up a set of the whistleblowing inspection system. So we receive the cases from the public, and then we also bring this case to the corresponding locality, and we also make a review. So we urge localities to make good work in response to the public concern. So first, we make sure everything that open to the public, so that regarding to the problems reported, as well as the working process, as well as the working results. We talk about a local newspaper, TV station should always release the information of the hotline, so make sure that people have the access to make report based on the urgency of the problem. So that's, we talk about anything that can make a quick response, then we take them first. And for some cases that cannot be solved in short time periods, that may actually involve multiple stakeholders. We also have a timeline of that cases. But for all these cases, I always make that open to the public, to let the public, to invite the public inspect the work. And we also pay a return visit, or make a phone call to ask improvement. And through our DA reviewing or revisiting, we have found that that some of the problems actually had well dealt with, but still we still see some room of improvement. For the cases not solved completely, we hold people in charge accountable, make sure that they implement their role and responsibility strictly. So after the inspection team is stationed for 1 month, the team continued to urge the locality to do a good job, to the public's letters and visits. And for the atypical problems from the public complaint, we also make them as the typical cases. We talk about it's like after 1 month, we just let it go. And for the key problems, we always put them as the top priority, and we also check on a regular basis. And we also pay a return visit to check the actual progress. Thank you. Cover News. We have noticed that some of the illegal improvement or fake improvement found. So how you deal with this kind of situation? Thank you for your question. We care about problem funding, but more importantly, we care more about problem solving. The actual progress should reflect in the results of our work. General Secretary CEO is attached great importance on our work, the efficiency of our work. And also the relevant policies and documents are also published, making the improvement and also the rectification as the most important of our work. We also set a system of rectification, make sure that we have the system as well as instructions in place to make our work in a standard manner. And we also have quite a clear role and responsibility. And also at each provincial level, we also have a working team led by the key officials of the locality. And regarding the rectifying plan, that should be feasible. In this rectifying plan, we should have the several key elements, including a deadline, a rectifying plan, rectifying methods, and expected results. And also OD's plans and rectifying plan as well should be reported to the central government and also open to the public to receive a public supervision. We talk about ODs should be reported. So that's first thing, that we establish the system as well as the institution. Second, and we also practice a list-oriented working method. So, which means that we're putting the cases in a list way, and also for the typical cases, we also make a regular basis revisit. Some is once per month, some is twice, once per 2 months, some is a once per year. But we will send the team to the place of the key typical cases. For our each revisit, we'll also produce a report of our revisit. If we found that the localities not exert themselves to deal with the problems, we also urge them to practice their responsibility, make sure that we produce concrete results. And also, we unveil the cases, not the completely improved themselves. So we also to invite media and the public to supervise our work as well as local authorities' work. Throughout these years' efforts, we have found like the local authorities always touch great importance to the environmental conservation work as well as the inspection work. That is why we have seen quite a large number of the cases have been dealt with. We talk about Bayangdian. Once it's quite troublesome place. In the recent years, Hebei province have practiced different methods to deal with the water quality of Bayangdian. So that the water quality improved from the poorest level to the best level 3. So that's a tremendous changes happened. We talk about the Ma'anshan section of Yangtze River have illegally occupied by the mining mountains factories. The Anhui province also have taken concrete actions to deal with these illegal behaviors, and right now all previously not the very dirty places right now have changing to a very beautiful landscape, and also the public like to take beautiful photos there.
中网记者提问，作为一项重大的制度创新，
China Night, as one of the major policy innovation, the central environment inspections is very important, and what kind of the measures do you have to further improve the policy of a central environmental inspection? We talk about central environment inspections are a very solemn policy reflecting the authority of central government. We should have a very strict and solid policy system to safeguard and sustain our work. Throughout our 7 years' work, we have practiced and continuously improved our systems. We have published 2 very important documents, and also we have around 110 working templates. So you can consider it as 2 plus 110 working mode. So that's 2 very important documents plus 110 working methods or working templates. So you could see that templates includes the requirements for a practice, also the guideline for implementation, and also the standards as well as policies, make sure that everything could follow the same rule. Regarding the features of the systems and instructions, from the learning of the situation, training, to handling the complaints, to the handling the problems to the relevant responsible authorities, to the very last step, profiling, including 10 steps. We have the detailed requirements for each step. It's covering the very first step to the last step of our work. We have specific templates for the case that the inspection team first meeting, how to conduct the first meeting. We have a working template. So in this meeting, we should learn well General Secretary Xi's instruction and also his requirements on that specific region. And also the relevant sites should sign. And each team member, as well as the journalist, along with the group, all need to sign. A document of confidentiality. As well as the document of honesty. And also in each inspection team, also divided into 2 small teams. So the one team responsible for drafting a report. So the drafting team have the right of auditing, checking, verifying the information collected by other team,
另外呢，还建立了一个报告的独立审核机制，报告独立审核机制。
And we also establish an independent report checking team. In this team, it's also a leading team personnel with rich experience and skills. So this team should check each number, photo, piece of information. They are not a drafting team member. They are the one to work independently to check and verify the report. Make sure that report reflect the objective and genuine situation. Second, we talk about the typical cases from drafting the report, collecting the videos, the audios, also the unveiling the documents. We all have the requirements in place. In terms of handling complaint from the public and how you answer the phone, how you record the information, and how to hand over the case to the responsible localities. We talk about after we received the complaint from the public and the time of handling, over the case is also have strict requirements. So the morning of the second day, that should be the time window to hand over the complaints. When the inspection team is stationed in the locality, also they conduct an interview. So for the interview template, also have the reference. We talk about system, and the instructions actually are open, and also we receive and also conduct a regular review. If we found a loophole, we also make in-time improvement, and also with the time going, we also make new templates. And in our second round of inspections, we also actually have a quite innovative way, which is to have a discussion driven the working method of our inspections. And we also have the co-working methods, that's inspection plus self-inspection. We talk about we working towards the same direction. After several rounds of talk, finally we reach consensus. For the working templates, based on our 7 years of practice, very workable and feasible and produce good results. It always helps us to stick to the right direction of our work. So all these working templates also guarantee our working quality.
这是这一套体系是中央环保督察的关键所在啊，他们也很这些问题也
And that's also the great assets of the Central Environmental Inspection. Going forward, we will summarize our working experience and also to harness the foundation of the policy, instructions, and system, make sure we will go in depth and go further. Thank you.
天目新闻提问：关注重大区域重大战略问题，围绕长江经济带发展。
My question regarding the key regional development, that's including the Yellow River and Yangtze River Delta region, and what kind of the problem have you found, and what's the progress of the work?
谢谢您的提问。
Thank you for your question.
主义亲自谋划部署了多个区域重大战略，
General Secretary Xi
一以贯之的将生态文明建设
personally worked out the plan for the key regional development.
按照中央的要求呢，中央环保督察也是紧盯
Follow the requirement of the central government, the essential environmental inspections.
并且围绕着
Also keep a close eye on the implementation of the requirement based on the different positioning of the different regions. We also carry out specific inspection work. Regarding the
围绕着
Yangtze River
大保护，不搞大开发，
economic belt,
围绕
we
着
focus on
长
the
江
major environmental protection instead of major
生态保护
economic development.
污染防治等方面的问题，就是说在这个长江经济带呢，要围绕这些作为。
So for the Yangtze River economic belt, we focus on the
那么在督促黄河流域相关
water
省份
quality improvement.
那么就要紧紧围绕着水
For
分短缺
Yellow River
比较突出的问题，
region, we focus on the water
这
shortage,
个适水适定的落实情况
which is quite the prominent problem.
非常重要。
So our key focus should
另
be
一方面呢，
on the water shortage and the environmental conservation.
督察工作很重要的一个内容，就是我们联合呀中央广播电台
Another our key
连续
job is we
5年的
work
时间
with CMG.
长江经济带的生态环境景色
We have
大家也都听说了
filmed the video in past 5 years continuously.
拍摄这个警示片。
So that's continued from 2018.
每年呢，我们都组织人员、组织小组工作人员深入到长江经济带，
Each year, we organize a specific team to visit
11
the 11 cities that's covering the upstream to the low stream
近30人
of Yellow River. That's from
工作组拍摄组的行程都是
Gansu to Shanghai.
30万公里。通过暗查暗访、明察
That's nearly 300,000 kilometers.
在相关会议上进行播放，引起了强烈的反响。
So the video we
这些
filmed
这种问题
also played in different
特
meanings.
点具有很强的现
So
场
in the film, also reflects the key problems and also to
上来以后，
ring the alarm.
把这个先看片子，通过先看片子。
So in our each meeting, we first played
这种
the
片子呢可以
video
推动
and
经济
then
发挥
we
很
continue the meeting.
而且每一个警示片
And
播
we
放
talk
以后啊
about that the alarming video or the video reflecting the key problems
进行整改。
reflect the atypical cases, and also all these cases included in this video, also
包括了
the
禁止
handover to the local authorities
暗线破坏、
for
违
further
规侵占保护区等在内
handling.
623个问题，这些问题都是比较突出的。
So all these film actually are the all the typical cases, including 623,
中央领导同志
and 468 cases have already rectified. And from last year, we also the
的这些问题的
film
对推动各地解决突出问题发挥着重要的作用。
covering
长江经济带
Yellow
11
River
省
as
市
well.
各地调整产业结构，加速岸线整治和污染防治。2020
So we have seen the 11 cities
长江
along
战流首
the
次实现了全线达到2类水平。
Yangtze River
21年，这已经2年了。
have upgraded their industrial
这是很不容易的。生物多样性
landscape,
显著增
and
长
we have seen that all these 11 cities
成群
have tremendously improved the water
长江经济
quality.
带生态环境保
This is a really hard-won progress. We have seen
黄河
a
流域9省区呢，也严格落实市水市地
spectacular
提高水质
changes in
节约
the
利用水
Yangtze
加大
River
保护力度，建设绿色
economic belt.
长廊。黄河自然保护区湿地
And
面
we also have seen that a corridor also built up, and the economic conservation also have seen the good results.
先后面吧，第4排那边男记者。
谢谢主持人。每日经济新闻记者提问。我们注意到，从去年开始，中央生态
Economic Daily, we have noticed that starting from last year,
请问，在遏制两个项目盲目发展方面的工作进展如何？对促进高质量发展起到了怎样的作用？谢谢。
we have noticed that there's not a situation that for the sake of high quality development, we pursue some
社会各方面
cases
关注。
bluntly.
那么，按照党中央、国务院的
So what's the progress in this regard? Thank you for your question.
第3批开始，
For the third batch of our second round of inspection,
项目
we
盲目上马和去产能
have strictly put a close eye
作为督查的重点。
on the bluntly selecting cases for rectification.
突出的问题，查实一批突出问题。以督查处发展一直是中央环保督查坚持的重要原则和基本的。
Inspection for further development.
那么在助推高质量发展方面，督查主要从3个层面来发力。这个基本考虑第一呢，还是要解决思想认识的问题。
We talk about for the cases, especially not the cases
自觉的
regarding to the high pollution discharge and high carbon dioxide emission.
生态优先、绿色发展之路，
So for
这第一个。
the way we carry out our work, first, we strictly implement the general secretary's
违法违规上马
thoughts on the ecological conservation. And for the projects that bluntly carried out
要推动建立长效机制，
with a high
生态
environmental damage, we should also hold
推动实现
the person
发展。
accountable,
那么从
make sure that all the projects carried out should be focused on green development.
经济社会发展全面绿色
For
转型
each locality
是明显的提高，落实新发展理念，
have
推动高
much
质量发展
improved their awareness on green development,
明显的增强。两个
and they
项目
also take initiative
发展的势头
to
得到有效遏制。
carry out the green projects. So that is why we also see
查出一批传统产业得到优化升级，一批绿色产业
that the projects regarding the high discharge of pollutant and the carbon dioxide have been stopped.
大清污。
And in the recent years, we have seen Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei work together to deal with the
明显改善，我们
air pollution.
都是在生活
So we all base in this region, so we have not the actual feeling
蓝天白云
of that environmental
生活的常态。
improvement. The blue
比如江苏、南通、
sky and
武山地区、滨江片区大力整治散乱物，
the
拆除违建，
good
修
environment
复岸线，打造绿色长廊，
have the
昔日
or
大
the
江
a normal routine.
再现。这些年应该说这个通过这些工作呢，各地高度重视啊，成效还是明显的。谢谢。
We have seen that the a concrete progress made in this regard. And one last question, please.
翟部长您好，我是澎湃新闻的记者。那我们
Thank
在
you
采
very
访中也
much.
经常会听到，为什么有一些
Paper.
地方发现不了，而督察
In
记录1个月就能发
our
现
media report, we talk about some problems that the a local authorities actually could not find until the a central environmental
谢谢。
inspection station there and found a quite large number of cases in just 1 month.
有一定的代表性。
I believe that this is a very typical situation. We also actually hear this kind of the question asked to us. We talk about that the local authority, the local leadership,
人家来1个月，为什么就发现了这么多？
talk about that why the local team could not find the problem, but the central environmental inspection team found the problem
这个发现问题啊，
instead. How the situation be like this?
如果不能发现问题，督察的作用啊就难以发挥。
First, we talk about that's the role of the central environmental inspection. This is the work we should do,
第一呢，还是
and we should find the problems.
瞄准方向，要把方向重点定下。
First, we
那么大家都
need
知道
to
每个
have the assigned
区域呢，
direction
生态环境特点是不
for each province, each region.
同的，资源环
They
境
have
约束
all
呢
different features in terms of environment.
会根据具体的省情、区情、
So
事情
we also have a region by region, case by
需要关
case,
注的重点，
to study and set our focus direction
还是要把
for different region.
这个宏观上来对它进行一个最基本的判断，
So from a macro
看看问题
direction, we should have a first
应该在哪些方向。
study
有些地方
to set the tone and direction of our work. For some region, they focus on the source of rivers
地方要关
and lakes.
区的
Some region, then they focus on the situation in the a reserve area.
关注它的
Some place, they focus
天然的保护情况。有些地方呢可能会
on the a black earth
高原
or black
生态
land. Some place focus on biodiversity.
不同的这个省份
So look at different region, different province.
认真的研究把握的，这是在这个。
We should have a different working direction.
第二点呢，就是做足了功课，
Second,
做足功课。督察进入一般只有1个月，但是督察的
although we just station in the
甚至有半年的时间。
place for 1 month, but actually before we station there, we have studied very well
广泛征求有关部门
about the whole situation.
更重要的是
Because we spent nearly half months, 1 month, or even longer time to study the situation. And we also made pre-visit in order to collect first-hand
多种技术
evidence.
发现问题，充分的借助卫星遥
And
感
we also use multiple
等一些
the
技术
equipment, including
提高
the
督察组发现问题的能力。
remote sensing
在这个
equipment,
基础上呢，在进入前期啊，要形成一个进驻的
drone,
手册，
and also the other
个手册
cutting-edge technology to help us collect the evidence. And we also actually
厚厚的一个本子。
have a handbook as really a thick
进入
book.
前期啊，基本的问题线索是都已经摸得差不多了。
So in this handbook, actually, we also reflect the detailed information. So before we stay our station there, we actually already learned the nearly full knowledge about the situation. And we also capture photos, film videos before our 1 month station. And one more thing is that we also rely on the support of the public. The public's whistleblowing also the agreed support to us. We rely on the help of the public before our station. Based on the daily complaint, we try to figure out a clue of the problem. For each province, actually, we receive around 1,000 complaints, either by phone or by letter. The team member also work into details to double-check the complaint in order to find out more clues of the problems. We also talk to the localities, talk about saying that we actually found all the problems based on our day-to-day work. The team members work tenaciously, and they also bold enough to find these hidden problems. The inspection team member know exactly where the problem was. Actually, that the team member kept watching the situation and 4 nights continuously. So finally, on day 4, that's around 3 to 4 a.m., the inspection team member found the actual wrongdoing happening there. Some localities could not find the problems. One thing, yes, some problems that you should, based on your experience, based on cutting-edge technologies, to help you find all these problems. It's really hard to find all these problems, but still, some localities not bold enough, not courage enough to face all these challenges. They know exactly where the problems are, but they actually find to procrastinate the handling of all these problems. Under the guidance of General Secretary Xi's thoughts on the ecological conservation, nothing should stop us to find problems as long as we have a very strong team with firm determination. Thank you very much. The end of our press conference. Thank you. Thank you, all the media friends. Thank you all.